Good morning, everyone. It's Tess, and today is tip 317, and I'm going to refer to it as using metaphors to describe life. And this one kind of got me again because I've been looking at that Tony Robbins Awaken the Giant Within book, and he was using metaphors and talking about metaphors and describing life. And what I found really interesting about this is that I've run across a lot of different coaches and read in a lot of different books of people who actually use metaphors to describe life. And I found it interesting, and I found a couple articles online. And what I really found interesting about these articles, and hello whoever's online with me, what I found really interesting is that the choice of words. And I'm going to say that for me, in the past year, I've been doing a lot of work with law of attraction, which is about keeping myself feeling good, about choosing to think positive thoughts, about staying high on the emotional scale, meaning that I want to, instead of being like, if you're, and I know this is Zara Mahoon, she always uses a pen, but the emotional scale, if you think of your mood or how you're feeling, the worry line is halfway in the middle. Anything below that is like despair, anger, frustration, and anything above is like you're happy, joyful, excited, full of love. I find my life works so much better if I'm thinking in a place of higher moods or higher emotions, meaning love and joy and excitement. And I found it very interesting that these articles were talking about different things they used as metaphors for life in helping people to keep moving forward and into planning. And what they kind of talked about is that metaphors can change how you feel. And when I read through this list, I completely agreed. And I will have to say that everything for me feels so much better when I think more positive thoughts. And one of the things they talked about was a garden. And I've read it in several different books, and I've heard it in different talks that people will refer to the different parts of their life as like that part of a garden where you're planting and you're nurturing and you're watering and you're cultivating it, so that as you get through spring, summer, and fall, you can start the harvest in the fall. And I thought that was a really interesting way. And again, it's looking for things to feel good so that the journey is enjoyable and so that you feel good moving forward. And then the winter is just the time that the soil goes dormant, it rebuilds nutrients and gets ready for the next spring. So I thought that was interesting. Then we also know Jim Rohn talks a lot about seasons, and that kind of can fall into the same line as the garden, but the seasons are your winter season when things are dormant, when you're planning, when you're organizing, when you're getting ready. Spring is when you start to plant the seeds. Summer is when you cultivate and take care of your seeds, and fall is when you collect your harvest. So it's kind of like the garden, but when I was looking through it, it talked about other ways too, because we all have different things that connect to us and make us feel good. And I saw an area, and this is not the area I'm going to go in, because they talked about like life as a battle, a mission, or a prison. Now those are all areas I don't want to go, because I have found that my life feels so much better, and I feel so much better when I look for things to feel good about. So I'm just even going to say those, and I'm going to move right past them. But other things they were talking about is if you're creating a building, there's an excitement. You know, our life can be that we're putting the blueprint together, and we're picking the things that are going to go on the walls or the counters or the flooring, or what rooms are going to go where. There can be an excitement in that, and I think life needs to be about that excitement. An adventure, if you're going to go on an adventure, you can find excitement in planning the adventure. Look for what month you're going to go, look for what places you want to visit. And life, we can plan life like that and have it be an exciting thing that we can move forward on. Or a roller coaster, and a roller coaster only if it's something that doesn't cause you fear. If it causes you excitement and adventure, it's a way to look forward. And I think really my main focus today is that they were looking at metaphors as an idea of looking at how life goes through changes. And what I would say is there are some positive ways to do that and some negative self-talk. And I'm really finding truly that through law of attraction, that thinking in a way that makes you feel good is so much better. So when I'm looking at things, I'm going to look at the garden, because I love the garden and I love to see it flourish, and I love to see the animals that come through it. And it is that cycle. Everything goes through cycles, but we can feel good about the cycle, and we can be more productive, and we can feel good about the journey. I think sometimes we get stuck in this thinking that it has to be so painful in order to move forward, and it doesn't. If we can look for the things to feel good about and move forward in a feel-good kind of way, we can release some of the stuff that is holding us back. Because I think in everything, like even in my weight loss journey, I've noticed that if I start to fall into a place that's lower on the emotional scale or lower in the moods, my decisions aren't as strong, and I'm not as connected to what my long-term goal is. But if I keep thinking about the plan and long term and feeling good about the garden and the seasons and the nurturing, or the journey or the adventure or the trip, it helps me to kind of move forward. So I guess that's what I wanted to say is today I was just looking, like I said, I started with Tony Robbins' Awaken the Giant Within, and he was talking about metaphors. And then I looked up articles, and I was surprised how many articles people have attached to trying to develop a program of their life. But the one thing I would say is that I truly believe that thinking at it, hi Joan, good to see you. Thinking at life from a place of feeling good really truly does help me to make better decisions. So like I said, I'm not even going to say again what the negative ones they were saying, but if you think about your life and you're moving forward, it can be an adventure. You can be in the planning stages, or you can be in the garden part where you're putting your seeds down that you'll nurture, and then you'll reap the harvest later in the fall. But whatever makes you feel good, find those things that make you feel good and help you to propel yourself and to move yourself forward. I know that that's helped me greatly in the past year, and it's something I've even pulling on recently, is the things that make me feel good to keep moving forward. And I love this idea of a garden, because a garden, just like seasons, a garden follows seasons. So those two can kind of go together. And that is that in the winter, we plan. In the spring, we plant, then we nurture, and then we harvest. And that's kind of a garden, and that's our seasons. But we can also look at it as a journey or an adventure. And I also like the idea of a building. We can be creating a building. We can do our blueprint. We can decide where our rooms are going to go. We're going to decide the finishes that we're going to put together. We're going to decide, what kind of meeting rooms we're going to have, or what we're going to use the rooms for. And it can be exciting. So if you're struggling at any point in time, maybe look at the cycle of it and remember that you're just looking in a forward motion, and keep yourself moving in that forward motion. Metaphors are a great tool. I've used them often in my life, and it is something that I will still come back to. It's almost like finding your inner butterfly. We all sometimes will be in that cocoon where we're getting ready, and then as we get ready, we'll open up into something beautiful. I hope you guys have a beautiful day. Thank you for being here, and make today the day that you become excited about what tomorrow is going to bring. Thank you, and have a great day.